you. That, my friend, is the key to survival.
None of this is real, don't you get it?
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Sandra. Jeff in Las Vegas.
Nice background.
Oh, I did it just for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad.
Well, I really enjoyed Multiverse, and congratulations on a great sci-fi thriller.
Thank you.
Now, was it difficult to understand what multiverse theory is? I'm still not clear what it means.
Not really for me. Luckily, I grew up fascinated with sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi geek. I have no shame. I love it. Even if it's low budget, independent films, I love it. Just because there's so many different levels to analyze, like what could be and what couldn't be. With casting for the movie of Multiverse, I was talking with them and we would go out with the cast and have a beer and we would talk about like, oh, so do you really believe in a multiverse? And I remember one of them said, I forgot which person said it. It was in 2018, so bear with me, but I do believe and understand enough. It was cool for me to have this opportunity, like, all right, I can just kind of play with it and go along and just be excited about the script. You know what I mean? It was just, I get to play a role and understand it. So it was a really cool experience for me, just to experiment and push, what could be, and then with the editing and everything, they made it amazing. But so I do love the film. Just, it leaves the question, you can't challenge that question because it's a yes or no kind of thing. It's do you or don't you?
In the middle of the sci-fi tale, we also have a love triangle, love story happening in different dimensions.
Yes, that was so complicated. So having discussed like different relationships, I have a relationship here and then there, and then how am I feeling about this relationship or that one? It was like, what do I supposed to know about this Amy and the other one? Is the communication different? I couldn't really give it, I can't, without getting into depth, I don't want to give it in a way, but when I read the script, my personality was like, oh, a love triangle, that's kind of weird. I might have a hard time making that work out at first, but then I thought about it and I analyzed it more and I thought, how would I feel? Amy, how would Amy feel? I'm like, okay. And I played around with it. And now it's like, I have the kind of personality that I would not, kind of square up to friends, but Amy, maybe, yeah, probably. So that was kind of a challenge at first to make that work and make me feel okay about it. And I just said, I'm Amy. That's why I tried to get into my head.
You have to be proud. You worked with an Oscar winner, Marlee Matlin. Well, tell me about that experience.
Yes. Oh, she's just a wonderful person. I've known her already previously for movies that we were involved in, Deaf West, Spring Awakening in 2000, starting in 2015. And then we went to Broadway and it was a good period of time. Marlee was in production with Broadway with me and I was cast as the lead, but we didn't have any scenes together. So it doesn't really count that we worked together, but we already had the previous connection. So, she was like my theater mama. So she would always ask me, is everything okay? Do you need water? You're doing wonderful. You look tired. What's wrong? Come here, talk with me. So it was like the mama to all of us. That was the great connection that I had. And still, once in a while, sometimes I would contact her for advice, or if I was struggling with something, and Marlee, I would say, what would you do? And we would just have wonderful conversations. She would give me wonderful advice, whether she agreed or disagreed with that. I do love that she's able to give me such an open mind discussion. And I just can count on her. The chemistry we both have, we could just play around with each other. We play off camera. We play on and off really well. I just appreciate her as a person.
I spoke to her a few months ago and the entire cast of Coda, and it was one of my career highlights.
One of my top moments. Yeah.
With deaf actors are really making progress with Coda, with Marvel's Eternals. Does the future look bright? Because it's just, they're playing just regular people. They're not looking towards their handicap at all. It's just I love how it's going mainstream because I have some deaf friends and they're so happy to see someone portrayed up there playing a character.
Oh, yes. We're seeing better stories, better characters, and we don't have to, you know, we just know that there will be something, whatever it is, because the majority or more opportunities are allowed and the more roles that we have, the more camaraderie we can have, the more it's like, you don't feel like you're alone. Imagine 30 years ago, she wasn't the only, maybe there was only one, but so the point is that many actors from a long time ago, they worked so hard to give the opportunities of recognition and for what they do and are doing today. And it's just made today better. So we're not focusing on the disabilities anymore. We're not focusing on the victim of deaf people, or we're trying to help them. We're done with that era. We want real stories, real authenticity, real characters, real deaf people. We need deaf actors to provide that emphasis on culture, especially if they don't, these people that are writing, if they don't know our lives and they don't know our culture and they just try to add in a deaf character, it just make it conducive to the story. That's it. We as a deaf person and actors, we provide that to the writers just naturally. So I try and encourage having more deaf people's, more deaf counseling, a deaf script writer, and to kind of touch on the deafness and the deaf culture and just giving that true authenticity without making anything look fake. And so the Internals, of course, the TV show that's happening soon, Hawkeye, and we have a Native American deaf actor, Alakwa Cox. She is as Echo, so that's so exciting. So more representation is happening and more layers are happening, and just we're seeing the change. We're seeing the wheels turn and there's more deaf people than before, you know. I'm just excited to see more and more representation and more support and bringing more people in. And it just means maybe they didn't get a role that they try for, but there will always be another opportunity and we don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. So now I'm pushing for deaf writers, and those deaf writers will give more authenticity. That'll help the process and the actors will feel good, you know, and the future is bright indeed. I have no concern or issues. So that's my backup. And I think that we just need to push the deaf writers more too.
Well, Sandra, you're an inspiration. Good luck with Multiverse. Thank you for joining me today. I'm a new fan. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time today too.
Thank you.